Let me ask you something. How many of you have been hurt by someone? It could have been a friend, a colleague, even a stranger. We've all been there, right? But let me tell you something powerful the moment you react. You give them control. They get to dictate your emotions, your energy, your peace. But why? Why hand over something so valuable? We live in a world where people will push your buttons. They will test your patience, your strength, and your character. Some will even go out of their way to bring you down. But here's the truth, the moment you react, you give them control. That's the hard part to accept, but it's also where your real power lies. When you react out of anger, frustration, or hurt, you're letting someone else dictate how you feel and how you behave. You hand over the reins of your emotions, allowing them to steer you in any direction they please. But you are stronger than that. You don't have to react. You can choose to control your power instead of handing it over to anyone who tries to provoke you. The ability to stay composed, even when you're hurt, is one of the most powerful weapons you have. It's like a shield guarding not just your peace of mind, but also your integrity. Break it down. What does it mean to control your power? It means not allowing anyone or anything to pull you out of character. It means staying rooted in who you are, regardless of what's happening around you. It means choosing not to react to every insult, every jab, every disrespectful comment that's thrown your way. It means resisting the urge to retaliate when your pride is on the line. See, reacting is easy. It's a knee-jerk response that anyone can have. Someone insults you, you snap back. Someone disrespects you, you lash out. It takes no real strength to give in to that. But holding your power, that's strength. That's wisdom. That's mastery over yourself. And here's why that's so crucial. When you stay calm, when you refuse to react, you're not showing weakness, you're showing control. Think about it this way. Imagine you're holding a priceless vase in your hands. If you're walking through a crowded room and someone bumps into you, your instinct is to protect that vase, right? You don't want it to fall and shatter. That vase is your peace, your power, your dignity. You wouldn't hand it over to just anyone, would you? You wouldn't let someone else decide whether it gets dropped or broken. Your emotions are that priceless vase. When someone tries to hurt you, they're bumping into you, trying to knock your vase out of your hands. But when you refuse to react, you're keeping a firm grip. You're saying, no matter what happens, I'm holding on to this. That's control. That's power. Now, don't get it twisted. Controlling your power doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending you're not affected. It means acknowledging your feelings, but choosing how you respond to them. You might feel hurt, you might feel angry, but you don't have to act on those feelings immediately. Take a step back. Breathe. Reassess the situation. Don't let temporary emotions lead to permanent consequences. When you control your power, you gain clarity. You see things for what they are. Most of the time, when someone tries to hurt you, it's not even about you. They're projecting their own pain, their own insecurities. They're trying to bring you down because they can't lift themselves up. And when you react, you're validating their behavior, giving them the satisfaction they crave. But when you hold your power, you starve them of that satisfaction. You stand tall, unshaken, unbothered. And that, my friends, is how you win. Not by engaging in petty back, but by rising above. By staying in control of your emotions and your actions, no matter what. And remember, when you keep your cool, people notice. You set an example. You show others what it means to be truly strong, to carry yourself with dignity, to not be swayed by the chaos around you. You become a leader, not because of what you say, but because of how you carry yourself. So the next time someone tries to hurt you, remember this: you are in control. You decide how you feel, how you act, and how you move forward. No one else. Hold on to your power, because once you give it away, it's hard to get back. Choose to stay calm, stay strong, and stay true to who you are. Control over yourself is the greatest power you will ever have. And when you master that, there's nothing anyone can do to shake you. Thank you. Life is unpredictable. People will challenge you, criticize you, and at times try to break you. We can't control what others say or do, but we can always control how we respond. Your response defines you. That's where your true power lies, not in what happens to you, but in how you choose to react. It's easy to react impulsively when someone hurts you. That knee-jerk response of lashing out or defending yourself comes naturally. But let me tell you something, anyone can react in the heat of the moment. It takes no special skill or strength to snap back. But the person who pauses, who takes a breath, and who responds with intention, that's the person who is truly in control. And that control speaks volumes about your character. When someone tries to bring you down, it's like they're throwing a challenge at you. Will you lower yourself to their level? Will you let them dictate your emotions, your energy, and your peace? Or will you stand firm, centered in who you are, and rise above it? Every time you choose to respond thoughtfully, rather than reacting emotionally, you are telling the world and yourself what kind of person you are. You're saying, I am not defined by other people's actions. You're saying, I am defined by my strength, by my wisdom, by my ability to see beyond the moment. Think about it. How many times have we seen someone let their emotions get the best of them, only to regret it later? How many bridges have been burned, relationships ruined, or opportunities lost because someone reacted in anger? A moment of impulsive reaction can have lasting consequences. That's why it's so important to understand that your response holds the power to shape the outcome. When someone hurts you, they're testing you. They're testing your ability to remain composed, your capacity for forgiveness, and your willingness to choose peace over conflict. Your response in those moments defines the type of person you are becoming. It shows whether you're reactive, ruled by emotions, or whether you're intentional, grounded in self-control. Now, I'm not saying you should suppress your emotions. Feel them. Acknowledge them. You have every right to be angry, frustrated, or hurt. But don't let those emotions be the driver of your actions. Don't let someone else's negativity pull you into a place of chaos and disorder. Respond, don't react. There's a big difference. Reacting is immediate. It's what happens when we act out of instinct without considering the long-term consequences. It's fueled by anger, ego, and the need to defend ourselves. Responding, on the other hand, is thoughtful. It's deliberate. It's the result of taking a step back, evaluating the situation, and choosing the best course of action, not just for now, but for the future. When you respond thoughtfully, you take back control. You're no longer letting the situation dictate your behavior, you're deciding how to handle it. That's where true strength lies, in the ability to maintain your integrity, no matter how chaotic the circumstances. The power is always in your hands, and how you choose to use it reveals your character. Think of a tree during a storm. The wind is fierce, the rain is relentless, and yet, that tree stands tall. Its branches may sway, its leaves may flutter, but its roots are deep. That's how you need to be. Life will throw storms your way, people will try to knock you off course, but if your roots are strong, if you're deeply grounded in who you are, you won't fall. Your response will define you, just like the tree's resilience defines its strength. Remember this: when you react, you're giving away your power. You're letting someone else control how you feel and how you act. But when you respond with purpose, you're reclaiming that power. You're saying, I am in control of my life. I choose how I react. I define who I am. And when you respond with grace, with wisdom, and with strength, something incredible happens. You grow. You learn that not every battle is worth fighting, not every insult is worth addressing, and not every hurt requires retaliation. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Other times a calm, measured reply is more powerful than any outburst could ever be. Your response doesn't just define you, it sets the tone for your life. So the next time someone hurts you, remember you have the power to decide how the story goes. Don't let anyone else write your script. You define who you are by how you respond. And when you choose wisely, you build a life based on strength, peace, and integrity. Choose to respond with purpose, and you'll find that the world can't knock you off balance. Thank you. Noise of the world. It's easy to feel like we have to respond to everything. Every insult, every slight, every criticism seems to demand our immediate reaction. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. There is power in silence, more power than we often realize. Silence doesn't mean weakness. In fact, it's one of the strongest statements you can make. Elevation through silence means rising above the noise, the conflict, and the chaos, and choosing peace over reaction. When someone tries to provoke you, they are looking for a reaction. They want to pull you into their drama, their negativity, their storm. But when you respond with silence, you're refusing to play their game. You're showing them that you're on a different level. They can say what they want, do what they want, but it doesn't affect you. Because you understand that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every insult is worth answering. Silence is a tool, but more importantly, it's a shield. It protects your peace, your energy, and your dignity. Think about it when you engage in petty arguments or react to negativity. You're allowing someone else to dictate your mood and your actions. But when you choose silence, you're in control. You're saying, I don't need to respond to prove my worth. You rise above the pettiness and drama that others try to pull you into. There's a common belief that silence means consent or surrender, but that's a misunderstanding. Silence is not surrender, it's strategy. It's choosing not to waste your breath on things that don't deserve your energy. It's recognizing that not everything needs your attention. In silence, you gain clarity. You rise above the situation, and you can see it for what it really is, an attempt to drag you down. Now, choosing silence doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean you allow disrespect. But it does mean that you don't let every little thing get to you. You don't react to every bit of negativity thrown your way because you know your worth, and your worth isn't defined by what others say or do. You choose your battles carefully, and when you respond, it's with purpose, not emotion. Elevation through silence is about maturity. It's about understanding that you can't control what other people do, but you can control how you respond. When you hold your tongue, when you refuse to engage in negativity, you're showing a level of strength that most people don't possess. It takes strength to be silent. It takes wisdom to know when words will only add fuel to the fire, and when silence will extinguish it. Consider the lessons of history. Some of the most influential leaders and figures have used silence as their most powerful tool. Think of a time when you've been in an argument and someone suddenly goes quiet. That silence speaks louder than any word. It's commanding, it's powerful. It makes people think, it makes them pause, and it shifts the dynamic of the entire conversation. Forces reflection both for you and the other person. In your silence, you give yourself time to process, to think about the best course of action. You're not reacting out of emotion, you're responding out of wisdom. And for the other person, your silence becomes a mirror. They have to sit with their words, with their actions. They have to reflect on their behavior without your reaction to validate it. In that moment of silence, you gain control of the situation. And that's the beauty of it. Silence disarms. It leaves room for reflection and diffuses the heat of the moment. People expect confrontation, especially when they've wronged you. But when you meet their negativity with silence, they don't know what to do with it. Your silence says, I'm above this. I don't need to prove anything to you. Now, silence is not always the answer, but it is often the most powerful first step. It creates space for the right response. When you choose to elevate through silence, you're refusing to let the world's chaos dictate your peace. You're making a statement: I control my reactions, my emotions, and my life. You rise above. You rise above the conflict, above the noise, and above the smallness of the moment. It's a quiet but profound form of strength, one that speaks volumes without ever saying a word. So the next time someone tries to hurt you or drag you into an argument, remember this: you don't have to respond. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Let your silence speak for you. Let it elevate you above the situation and show the world and yourself that you are not bound by the actions of others. You are in control. Rise above with silence, and you will find peace, strength, and power that no one can take from you. Thank you. In our journey through life, we often encounter individuals who lash out, criticize or hurt us in ways that leave us bewildered and wounded. It's easy to take their actions personally, to feel like we are the target of their negativity. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if we understood that people hurt from their own pain? This insight doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does provide us with a more compassionate lens through which to view the world. Think of a time when you felt angry or upset. Maybe something didn't go your way or you felt misunderstood. In those moments, it can be tempting to lash out, to take that pain and direct it towards someone else. This is human nature. We often look for a release for our frustration, and unfortunately, that often comes at the expense of others. The key to breaking this cycle is recognizing that the hurt we experience doesn't have to be transferred to someone else. We have the power to choose how we respond. Imagine someone you care about who's been having a tough time. Maybe they lost a job, ended a relationship, or faced a significant challenge. When they lash out in frustration, their anger is less about you and more about their own internal struggles. Understanding this can change everything. It allows us to approach their behavior with compassion rather than defensiveness. Recognizing that people hurt from their own pain doesn't mean we should accept hurtful behavior. It means we can choose to respond with empathy. We can choose to be the bigger person. Instead of retaliating, we can ask questions, listen, and seek to understand what's behind their actions. This approach opens the door to healing, not just for us, but for them as well. This understanding can also be a powerful tool for self-reflection. When someone hurts us, we can ask ourselves, what might they be going through? This perspective shift takes the focus off our hurt and places it onto a broader understanding of human experience. It reminds us that everyone has a story. Everyone is fighting their battles, and sometimes we're simply caught in the crossfire. Furthermore, by recognizing that others are often acting out of their own pain, we can begin to separate our self-worth from their words or actions. Their negativity doesn't define us, it reflects their struggles. This realization is liberating. It means we don't have to carry the weight of their pain. We can choose to let it go. Let's also consider the impact of this understanding on our relationships. When we approach others with the knowledge that they may be hurting, we create an environment that fosters connection rather than conflict. We can offer a safe space for them to express themselves, to share their struggles without fear of judgment. This opens the door for healing conversations that can transform relationships, turning potential hurt into understanding and growth. However, it's crucial to establish boundaries. Compassion doesn't mean allowing others to hurt us. It's perfectly acceptable to walk away from toxic situations or to distance ourselves from individuals who continually project their pain onto us. In doing so, we protect our own emotional well-being while still holding space for their struggles. You can care for someone while also choosing to prioritize your own mental health. This perspective fosters a deeper sense of compassion within ourselves. When we recognize that others' hurtful behavior stems from their own pain, we are less likely to hold grudges. We can forgive not for their sake, but for our own. Holding on to anger or resentment only prolongs our suffering. As we embrace this understanding, we realize that the world is filled with people who are simply trying to navigate their own pain. Each interaction becomes an opportunity for empathy, for growth, and for healing. We can choose to respond to hurt with kindness and understanding. Next time you find yourself on the receiving end of someone's hurtful words or actions, Remember, people hurt from their own pain. Recognize that their actions often have little to do with you and everything to do with their internal struggles. By adopting this perspective, you not only protect your own heart, but also open the door to deeper understanding and connection. Understanding the source of pain allows us to respond with compassion, breaking the cycle of hurt and fostering a culture of healing. Thank you. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful gifts we can give ourselves. Yet many people struggle with the concept, often viewing it as a favor to those who have wronged them. The truth is that forgiveness is not about them, it's about you. It's a choice we make for our own well-being, a step towards healing and liberation from the burdens that weigh us down. When we hold on to anger, resentment, or hurt, we are essentially carrying a heavy backpack filled with emotional baggage. This weight can drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and affect our relationships. We may think that by holding on to our pain, we are punishing those who hurt us, but in reality, we are only hurting ourselves. Forgiveness frees us from that burden. Consider this: when someone wrongs us, they may have a fleeting moment of remorse, or perhaps they don't even acknowledge the pain they caused. Regardless, their actions have a lasting impact on us. By refusing to forgive, we allow their behavior to continue to dictate our emotional state. We become prisoners of our own anger. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is an act of reclaiming our power. It's saying, I will not allow your actions to control my feelings any longer. Let's take a closer look at what forgiveness really means. It doesn't mean condoning the actions of others or forgetting what they did. Forgiveness is about understanding that we have the right to move forward without the emotional burden attached to past hurts. It's an acknowledgement that while we cannot change the past, we can change how it affects us today. By forgiving, we are giving ourselves permission to heal. Many people fear that forgiving means they have to reconcile with the person who hurt them, or that they need to pretend that everything is fine. This is not the case. Forgiveness is a personal journey that may not involve the other person at all. It's a choice to release the hold that their actions have over our lives. It allows us to let go of the negative energy that ties us to the past and creates space for healing and growth. Now let's talk about the practical steps we can take toward forgiveness. The first step is acknowledgement. We must recognize and accept the hurt that has been inflicted upon us. This may involve reflecting on the pain, expressing our feelings, and processing the emotions that come with it. Allow yourself to feel the hurt. It's an essential part of the healing process. By acknowledging our pain, we take the first step toward transforming it. We must cultivate empathy. This doesn't mean excusing the behavior, but rather understanding that everyone has their struggles. People act out of their pain, their insecurities, and their experiences. Recognizing this can help us detach from the personal nature of their actions. It allows us to see that their behavior is often a reflection of their struggles, not a measure of our worth. Another crucial aspect of forgiveness is self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself during this process. Understand that healing takes time and that it's okay to feel a mix of emotions. Forgiveness is not a linear journey. There will be moments of progress and moments of setback. Allow yourself to navigate this journey without judgment. As we move closer to forgiveness, it's essential to set boundaries. This means recognizing that while we can forgive, we don't have to allow the same behavior to continue. Forgiveness does not mean letting others walk all over us. Instead, it empowers us to make choices that protect our well-being. We can choose to forgive while still creating healthy boundaries in our relationships. Remember that forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, not the other person. It's about reclaiming our emotional freedom and taking charge of our lives. By forgiving, we release the power that past hurts have over us, and we make room for joy, peace, and love. In the end, forgiving for yourself means recognizing that you deserve a life free from the chains of resentment. It means letting go of the past so that you can fully embrace the present and the future. Forgiveness is a journey, but it's one worth taking. So as you reflect on the relationships and experiences that have caused you pain, remember this: forgive for yourself, not for them. Choose to release the burden of hurt and step into a brighter, more liberated future. In doing so, you empower yourself to live a life of peace and fulfillment, free from the shadows of the past. Forgiveness is not just an act, it's a transformation, a pathway to reclaiming your joy and embracing the fullness of life. Thank you.